Blackness is based upon, do you adhere to the liberal orthodoxy? LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter. Do you adhere to that? That's what blackness means to them. First, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed, liked, commented. I appreciate everything that you've said. No matter what you've said, I appreciate the likes. Please share this with your friends. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit that share button. We're trying to make sure that everybody know that they're not victims, that they're empowered for greatness, that we can make a difference again in this nation. That we can stand up for biblical values, we can stand up for truth and push back against all the lies and everything that's false that's taking place in this land. So I appreciate that. And please, thank you for looking at my videos and participating and making our voice known. So it's that time of year again. It's that time for Black conservative candidates to be maligned, not by the liberal media, the white liberal media. No, it's time for them to be maligned by the Black liberal media. It's time for that black on black crime that happens whenever a Black conservative is running for office and has a potential for winning. Last year, it was Larry Elder, the black face of white supremacy. Now it's Herschel Walker down in the Georgia Senate race, the Republican candidate who has a strong shot of winning. Number one, because of name recognition, and number two, because of his connection to former President Trump. So you have this hit piece from the Grio that calls Herschel Walker a national embarrassment. This is from the same publication that called Herschel Walker and his son a black puppet, or Trump's black puppet. It is so funny. Whenever there's a Black conservative running, it's never an attack of his ideals. It's never an attack about his policy, where he stands. It's always an attack on the man's character, as if he is doing this at the behest of his white puppet masters, not knowing that the same people that are writing this about him are being used by the liberal puppet masters. They're being used to continue to gin up this division, this hatred based upon skin tone. When are we going to stop identifying people based upon their skin tone and address them as human beings and as people? Herschel Walker, yeah, he may have some outlandish statements that he makes. And another thing I want to correct. Just because Christians don't believe in evolution does not mean that we are against science. Christians can be for the benefits of science, but be against a theory of evolution, a theory that runs contrary to biblical truths, that runs contrary to the biblical truth of creationism.
It's hard to keep the faith when you don't see him. You don't see him there, right? Or you can't feel him. You don't hear him sometimes, but he's there. Let me tell you the reason he's there, because you remember when he said, let there be light, there had to be light. So somebody had to store it, let there be light, because something had to be created here. Come on. So when the light was created here, that means that somebody up there had to say, let there be light, that the earth started. And then he had to put someone there on earth, because remember, Adam was there. Remember, Adam came there, then Eve came. So somebody had to start it out. So that means there had to be a God. Because it didn't just some bomb blew up and it started out. And then I'll tell you something else I heard. Now think about this, because at one time, science said man came from apes. Did it not? That's when you go to the science.
Every time I read or hear that, I think to myself, you just didn't read the same Bible I did.
Well, this was interesting though. If that is true, why are there still apes?
So just because somebody is speaking out against the theory of evolution, just because somebody is speaking out against the liberal orthodox, what somebody has been taught, what people have been taught going through these indoctrination facilities called public schools over the years, just because somebody stands out and speaks out against that, they're labeled an idiot or an embarrassment, or in this case, a buffoon. They said that Herschel Walker is full of buffoonery. That's a word I haven't heard in a while. Buffoonery. And he may win because the Georgia electorate is dumb. That's essentially what they're saying. They're saying that Herschel Walker may win the Senate race. He may beat out old Reverend Raphael Warnock, the person that is in the pulpit speaking about abortion, person that condones abortion from the pulpit. Old Reverend Raphael Warnock. Old Reverend Raphael Warnock, a pro-choice pastor. That's who Herschel Walker is running against. And the black people, the liberal black people are upset. How can you have our champion, Reverend Raphael Warnock, the one that is inclusive, the one that brings in all people into the black church? You know, the one that does not look at the Bible. This has his foundation, but looks at man's wisdom, black liberation theology as his theology. That'll be a separate video. But no, we cannot have this buffoon, Herschel Walker, this black puppet, this Trump black puppet win. So we gotta do all that we can to discredit him. Please miss us with that. Like I said before in the Larry Elder video, if you want to debate the man on principle, debate the man on policy. Let's not bring personality into this. But the problem is, because black people, we are so emotional, they know they would get us based on emotions. They can pull on our emotional string and manipulate us and control us. And that's what they've been continuing to do. They want to make us victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. So this attack against Herschel Walker is not based on his principles. It's not based on policy. It's based on some statements that he's made. It's based on the simple fact that he's a black conservative that has aligned himself with Trump. That's as simple as that. That's as simple as that. You know, if there was a black conservative that was running against the most racist liberal, the majority of black people will vote for the liberal. We won't know why. Because to them, blackness is not based on skin tone. Blackness is based upon, do you adhere to the liberal orthodoxy? LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter. Do you adhere to that? That's what blackness means to them. It doesn't matter the person's skin tone. You can have the blackest person run as a conservative, but people will not vote for him because that person does not adhere to the LGBTQ and the BLM orthodoxy. Simple as that. That person does not adhere to what BLM. That person does not adhere to what BLM wants to do when it wants to destroy the nuclear family. That person does not adhere to what the LGBTQ wants to do, indoctrinate your children into the gay lifestyle. No. And if you stand for biblical values, you will not get the vote because you are not black in today's day and time. Yeah, I said it. If you stand for biblical values, the truth that's found in God's word, you are not black. Because to be black and have a black church, you must be inclusive. You must support diversity and equity in the church. You can't let somebody come in flaming hot in your church. Then I need to find a new church. That's not black. That church is not black. That church is showing white supremacy. That church is not black. White supremacy has been equated to biblical values now. Yeah, white supremacy is now code word for biblical values. You gotta understand, when these liberals talk about things, whenever they talk about American values and talk about white supremacy, at the end of the day, they're referring to biblical values, God's institution, because it's the demonic spirit that's operating behind them that's pushing them to say those things. We are not victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. So, yeah, they can call Herschel Walker a buffoon, a national embarrassment. Same argument. The blackface of white supremacy. Sad, but that's what we are. But we will overcome that because we are, and the thing about it is if the man does win, He will not win because the voters in Georgia were ignorant. He will win because he appealed to the voters, and the voters wanted to change, and they voted out the good Reverend Raphael Warnock. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. Thank you so much for liking and your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that.